Right, so now we're going to put micro tapes in. That's what micro tapes look like when they come to you. That blue bit comes off, basically, that you peel back, and it comes off like that. Now, micro tapes are the most gentlest extensions out there. They're not like the big tapes. Big tapes are quite big. These ones are quite small. They do no damage to the client's head, so they're really good. So what you'll need is your pin comb to start off with. Now, I say to use a pin comb because you need to get your sections right. If you put in too little hair or too much hair, then what will happen is the micro tapes will come out. You do need to make sure you've got thumb width each side. You can't start here, because if you start here, the person won't be able to put their hair up. So you need that bit of hair left out. So basically, you do like a rectangle if they've got thick hair, or a triangle if they've got thin hair. Reason being is because you would need to get some hair underneath so that there's enough hair go in so they don't come out. So it's either a rectangle or a triangle. So once you've got that, it's also a good idea to put your micro tapes in a brush so they don't get all tangled, and you can take one at a time. And also what's really good is to peel back some so that it's quicker. So you can see I've peeled back some here, so you can just pull it out and then take them off. So if you have a look, we now have got to put your shield on. The reason why we put a shield on, which is this, and a small clip, is because we're going to use some heat and we don't want to burn the client's head. So basically we put that in and we use a small clip to hold it there. So basically what we've done is that's how your shields will come. What you have to do is cut it bigger so that you can fit your micro tapes in. So basically we're going to put this in, and we put it in one side, and you make sure there's some tape left over there, and you close it up like that. Now you're going to use your heat applicator, and you're going to hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2. And the important thing here is to squeeze it. 1, 2, 3. And that's your first one in. And then you just repeat as you go along. So you get your, when you get good at this, you can use your fingernails and do it. I do that now, but if you use your pin comb, you can get, to start off with, you can get a good section there. Then do the rest like that. As you'll find as we go along, I'm not leaving any hair out at all in that line, but what's actually happening is you'll find that it'll look like there'll be gaps between, so you'll be able to see that soon. Now it's really 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you can see how much I'm leaving. I'm not leaving much up. The thing is, you can put them right up the top with these ones. They don't hurt the client because they lay flat. They are really good, because with other extensions, they don't lie flat like that. But these ones do. And I'm using my fingernails now, but which you can once you get used to getting your sectioning right. And as I said before, make sure you're putting enough hair in and not too much. If you put too much hair in, they come apart and they feel very lumpy. So you'll be able to see that. The problem is when you're not putting enough hair in, because what will happen is in a week or two, they'll actually come out. So I'm just going to turn the doll's head around, because you've got to stand in front where you're actually doing it. You can't sort of you've got to stand right in front. So I'm starting this side. It doesn't matter which side you start. You can start that side if you like. It doesn't really matter as long as you start at the sides. Now, some people are left-handed, some people are right-handed. So basically you're starting to see that it's got to look really nice and neat. And to be honest, it looks neater on a real person. On a doll's head, it's quite difficult to do anything, cutting, all sorts of things. Now I'm left-handed, so I fold the extensions this way, but you can do it that way and fold if you want to, if it's easier. But I do it this side. So you put it on half of it, leave a bit out, and fold it over and squeeze. And then you put on the heat for 2 seconds. So what happens is, there's a bit of... So these clips are really important because if you didn't have them, you'd have flyaway hair coming everywhere. So we'll do it again. So we're just going to go right to the end to show you what we do at the end as well. And then what we do for the next line as well. So we'll put that on for 2 seconds. So a full head of microtapes, as I said, is about 3 or 4 lines at the back. You've got to make sure that you do a V as well, and your last line's up the top there. It's very important to get the, if you've stopped here, then when you put the hair down, it won't blend in. You've got to make sure that you spread them out. So if you're doing 4 lines, you do 2, 3, 4, because you've got to get up the top, not above that bone though. So I'm just going to turn that around again. And I think we've got about 2 left on this side. So you'll probably be a lot slower than I am at the moment. Just take your time. When you get used to it, it takes about 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, maybe even less if you're quick. But please allow 4 hours for your first application on a person. Now we need to make a thumb on that side, because remember we said they need some hair there to cover it if they put the hair up. So I've only got room for 1 more left here. So that's it. So I'm just going to put this one in now. And it's really important you put the heat on, because that helps to secure it, and then squeeze it afterwards. Now that's your first line, and it should look quite neat, just like that. So when you do your second line, you look at the ear, and I'm just going to go above the ear there, because I'm going to do 4 lines, so I've got to, like, you don't do your next line there, you make sure your 4 lines will go up the top there, because if you start doing lots of them in there, you'll end up doing about 8, and that's too much hair, to be honest, because the microtapes have got a lot more hair in it. So again, you're going to draw a V, and the reason, as I said before, is so that the person will be able to hide the extensions a lot better. So as you can see, I'm not using up all the hair. When I do that line, there'll be still some hair of theirs left underneath, which is absolutely fine. You'll find with thin hair you might not have that, but with thicker hair or medium hair you will. So again, you put this on to keep the flyaway hairs away, and you then use the other clip to put that on. And then you do the other side, and I started this side, so you've got to do brickwork. So if I started that side on that line, that means I've got to start this side on this line. Then the next line I'll go back and start this side. Brickwork is really important so they lie nice and neatly for you. Thank you. We'll get ready for our next one.